My friends, as we journey through the golden years, we often confront truths about our bodies and minds that we might have once overlooked. The fast pace of youth gives way to a deeper contemplation. We seek comfort, yes, but more profoundly, we seek peace, lasting vitality, and a quiet sense of sustained well-being. But what if I told you that a seemingly private, often unspoken habit, one that many consider harmless or even beneficial, might actually be subtly undermining your health, your energy, and even your peace of mind as an older man? A habit that for decades might have simply been there, but now, in this stage of life, could be holding you back from truly thriving? You might be surprised by this idea. You might even be skeptical. And that's perfectly understandable. But if you've ever felt a nagging sense of fatigue, if you've noticed a persistent dip in your motivation, a kind of unshakable lethargy, or if you've just felt a subtle but constant feeling of being off, of not quite having the mental clarity or sustained energy you wish you had, then I promise you, this message is for you. This isn't about judgment, gentlemen. Not in the slightest. This is about understanding. It's about empowering you with knowledge. It's about shining a light on an area that many of us rarely discuss, but which could hold a surprising key to unlocking greater vitality in your senior years. I urge you, my friends, to stay with me until the very end of this conversation. This could genuinely be one of the most important and perhaps surprising conversations you have with yourself about your overall well-being in this precious season of life. Go ahead right now, take a moment. What are your initial thoughts, or even just your gut reaction to this topic? Have you ever considered the potential impact of this on your health as an older man? Share your initial thoughts in the comments below, even if it's just a single word. Let's begin this journey of understanding together. Introduction. Setting the stage. Hello, gentlemen. I'm your guide today, and for years I've dedicated myself to understanding the nuances of healthy aging, especially for men like us. We've built lives, raised families, navigated challenges, and now we deserve to truly thrive in these later chapters. Now, I understand that the topic we're about to delve into can feel deeply personal, perhaps even a bit uncomfortable to discuss openly. It's often shrouded in privacy, and for good reason. But true well-being demands we examine all aspects of our lives, even those we rarely speak about. My intention here is not to preach, not to shame, and certainly not to dictate your personal choices. Instead, it's to share insights based on a combination of physiological understanding, anecdotal evidence, and a deep empathy for the challenges we face as we age. My goal is to empower you with knowledge so you can make informed decisions for your best life. Despite the sensitive nature of this discussion, remember this: there is always hope. Small, manageable changes can have a profound impact on your health and happiness. We're talking about unlocking greater vitality, more sustained energy, and a deeper sense of well-being. So if you're ready to explore a different perspective on men's health that might just surprise you, lean in. And as we go through this, if anything I say resonates or even sparks a question, don't hesitate to type one in the comments below. It lets me know you're still with me, and it helps this message reach more men who need to hear it. The physiological argument, energy and vitality. Gentlemen, let's now delve into the practical physical realities of our bodies, particularly as we mature. For years, many of us have viewed sexual activity, including solitary acts, as a simple, perhaps even beneficial release. But our bodies, especially in our senior years, operate on a different economy than they did in our youth. Every biological process has an associated cost, and the process of sexual culmination is no exception. This isn't about shaming or judging. It's about understanding the intricate workings of the human body and how we can best support it for sustained vitality. The cost of creation, your body's resources. First, let's talk about the sheer energetic and nutritional cost of creating and expelling seminal fluid. Think of your body, as I mentioned, as a sophisticated, finely tuned machine, an incredible biochemical factory. When you engage in ejaculation, you're not just emptying a tank. You are, in fact, triggering a complex physiological process that requires a significant expenditure of energy and a considerable draw on your body's precious nutrient reserves. Consider this: seminal fluid isn't just water. It's a rich cocktail of vital substances. It contains an array of minerals like zinc, selenium, and magnesium, all crucial for countless bodily functions beyond just reproduction. It's also packed with enzymes, proteins, amino acids, and various B vitamins. Your body expends considerable resources to produce and replenish these components. In our younger years, our bodies are often more resilient, more efficient at quickly synthesizing and restocking these supplies. But as we age, our digestive efficiency can decrease. Nutrient absorption might not be as robust, and our overall metabolic rate slows. This means the resources we do take in are even more critical, and any consistent depletion becomes more difficult to recover from quickly. Imagine you're running a busy factory. Every time you produce a high-value product, you use up raw materials and energy. If you're constantly churning out that product without adequate time to replenish your supplies and rest your machinery, what happens? Eventually, your stock runs low, your machines become less efficient, and overall production slows down or quality declines. In our bodies, this translates into a subtle but persistent sense of fatigue. You might not immediately connect feeling worn out or drained to this specific activity, but over time, the cumulative effect of drawing down these vital nutrients and expending this energy can certainly contribute to a general feeling of lethargy, decreased mental sharpness, and a noticeable dip in overall physical resilience. It's a subtle tax on your system that, when frequently applied, can lead to a state of chronic low-grade depletion. We want to conserve these precious resources, gentlemen, not constantly deplete them. Hormonal fluctuations. Beyond the direct expenditure of nutrients and energy, we must also consider the intricate dance of our hormones. These chemical messengers govern virtually every process in our bodies, from our energy levels and mood to our muscle mass and, yes, our libido. As older men, we're already navigating the natural shifts in our hormonal landscape, particularly with testosterone, which tends to gradually decline with age. Understanding how our actions influence these delicate balances becomes even more critical. When we experience orgasm, our bodies release a cocktail of neurochemicals, including dopamine, which gives us that momentary feeling of pleasure and reward, but also a hormone called prolactin. Prolactin's role, among other things, is to bring the body back down to a resting state after sexual activity. While essential, a significant surge in prolactin can, in turn, temporarily suppress dopamine levels and, importantly, impact the production and circulation of testosterone. Now, for a younger man, this temporary dip is usually short-lived and easily bounced back from. Their endocrine system is generally more robust and flexible. But for us, as we're already experiencing a natural age-related decline in testosterone, these repeated surges in prolactin can lead to more noticeable and prolonged hormonal fluctuations. Imagine your testosterone levels as a relatively stable but slowly descending line on a graph. Each time you have a frequent ejaculation, you're introducing a significant dip in that line. If these dips occur too frequently, without adequate time for your body to fully recover and rebalance, that average testosterone level can end up lower than it otherwise would be. What does this mean for you, practically speaking? A sustained or frequently depressed level of testosterone, even if it's just a subtle shift, can manifest in several ways that impact our quality of life. We're talking about feelings of low energy, not just physical fatigue, but but a general lack of get up and go. You might find yourself less motivated to pursue hobbies, exercise, or engage in social activities. Paradoxically, it can also lead to a reduced genuine libido and sexual desire, even if the act itself is still occurring out of habit. Beyond that, hormonal imbalances can contribute to subtle mood changes, a feeling of being flat or less joyful, and even cognitive fog, that frustrating sensation of not being as sharp or focused as you once were. It's crucial to understand that it's not about one single instance, but the cumulative effect of consistent hormonal draws. Our bodies are constantly seeking balance or homeostasis. When we repeatedly engage in an activity that temporarily pushes our hormones out of their optimal range, especially when our systems are already less resilient, it creates a subtle but persistent strain. By reducing the frequency, we give our bodies a better chance to maintain a more stable and optimal hormonal environment, which can translate into more sustained energy, better mood regulation, and improved mental clarity throughout your day. Neurotransmitter balance. Now let's turn our attention from hormones to another critical aspect of our internal chemistry: neurotransmitters. These are the chemical messengers in our brains that transmit signals between nerve cells, influencing everything from our mood and motivation to our focus and cognitive function. Just as hormones play a role, the way our brains handle these powerful chemicals after sexual activity also has a significant impact, particularly as we age. The act of orgasm is associated with a surge in several key neurotransmitters, most notably dopamine. Dopamine is often called the reward or pleasure chemical. It's responsible for that sense of exhilaration and satisfaction we feel during the act. This rush is part of what makes the experience pleasurable and, frankly, keeps us coming back. However, like any significant surge, there's often a subsequent dip. Immediately following orgasm, your brain's delicate balance of neurotransmitters undergoes a significant shift. While dopamine levels peak during the act, they then tend to drop below baseline as the body enters what's known as the post-orgasmic refractory period. During this time, which can last minutes, hours, or even longer, depending on the individual and their age, the brain works to restore its equilibrium. This dip in dopamine, coupled with the release of other chemicals like prolactin, which we discussed earlier and can inhibit dopamine, can lead to distinct feelings. You might have experienced this yourself, that feeling of immediate lethargy, a profound lack of motivation, or even a subtle sense of sadness or emptiness that can follow the initial pleasure. This isn't a moral failing. It's a physiological consequence of the brain's attempt to reset. For a younger man, this reset is often quick and largely unnoticed beyond a brief period of relaxation. But for us, as older men, our brains, like the rest of our bodies, become less efficient at quickly rebalancing these complex chemical systems. The resilience isn't quite the same. This means that if you're frequently engaging in activity that causes these significant dopamine fluctuations, you could be contributing to a more prolonged or pronounced experience of these post-orgasmic effects. What does this look like in daily life? It could manifest as a general decline in your proactive energy, the energy needed to start new tasks, engage in stimulating conversations, or pursue your passions. You might find yourself more prone to procrastination, less interested in engaging with the world, or even experiencing a low-grade, persistent mental fog or lack of clarity. Moreover, if one consistently relies on this particular dopamine surge as a primary source of reward or stress relief, it can inadvertently diminish the brain's responsiveness to other, more sustainable sources of pleasure and motivation. Activities like meaningful social interaction, learning new things, engaging in fulfilling hobbies, or simply enjoying the beauty of nature also release dopamine and other positive neurotransmitters, but they do so in a more gentle, sustained manner that doesn't lead to such a sharp post-activity dip. By reducing the frequency of these sharp peaks and valleys, We allow our brains to maintain a more stable, higher baseline for these crucial feel-good and motivation chemicals, leading to greater overall mental clarity, improved mood, and a more sustained sense of positive engagement with life. The essence argument, subtle and respectful. Now let's step back for a moment from the purely biochemical and acknowledge a perspective that resonates deeply with ancient wisdom traditions from across the globe. While modern science provides us with invaluable insights into the tangible mechanics of our bodies, these older perspectives often offer a broader, more holistic view of energy and vitality. Many ancient cultures, from various spiritual traditions in the East to some indigenous philosophies, have long held the belief that seminal fluid is not merely a reproductive substance, but a potent, concentrated form of life force or essence within the male body. This isn't about superstition or dogma. It's about a profound observation of the body's energy. These traditions often taught that the frequent expulsion of this essence could lead to a subtle but significant depletion of overall vital energy, impacting not just physical strength, but also mental clarity, spiritual vigor, and even longevity. Think of it this way. If your body is continuously dedicating energy and resources to producing and releasing this highly concentrated fluid, that's energy and resources that are not being channeled into other critical functions. In these ancient views, this life force was seen as foundational to your creative energy, your mental sharpness, your physical resilience, and your very spark for life. When it was conserved, it was believed to be transmuted or reabsorbed by the body into higher forms of energy, fueling intellectual pursuits, spiritual growth, and overall well-being. While our modern scientific lens explains this in terms of hormones, neurotransmitters, and nutrient expenditure, the underlying principle is remarkably similar. Conservation of energy. It suggests that the body has a finite amount of ki, or prana, or life essence, and how we manage that energy has profound implications for our overall health and vitality, especially as we age. When we're younger, we have an abundance, a surplus, and we can be more wasteful without immediate repercussions. But as we get older, our reserves naturally diminish, and prudence in how we utilize and conserve our internal resources becomes paramount. This perspective isn't about guilt or shame. It's about empowerment through a different kind of understanding. It invites us to consider that by consciously choosing to manage our sexual energy, we are not denying ourselves, but rather, we are strategically redirecting and conserving a powerful, innate life force. We are allowing that energy to nourish our brain, strengthen our immune system, improve our mood, and fuel our passions and purpose in ways that are more enriching and sustainable for this stage of life. It's about cultivating a deeper respect for our own internal economy and choosing to invest our most precious resources where they can yield the greatest return for our long-term vitality and happiness. The mental and emotional landscape. Gentlemen, having explored the tangible physiological impacts, let's now shift our focus to an equally, if not more, crucial arena: our mental and emotional landscape. Our inner world, our thoughts, feelings, and sense of self, profoundly influences our overall well-being. And just as our bodies change with age, so too do the nuances of our emotional needs and the ways in which we seek fulfillment. While physical health is vital, true flourishing in our golden years comes from a balanced, peaceful, and purposeful mind. The cycle of compulsion and guilt. For many men, what might have begun innocently in youth as a private act can, over time, subtly evolve into a more ingrained habit. And sometimes, perhaps even unconsciously, this habit can begin to feel less like a free choice and more like a compulsion. It's a subtle shift, but a significant one. You might find yourself engaging in the act out of routine, or even boredom, rather than genuine, spontaneous desire. There might be a feeling of needing to do it, even when you're not particularly inclined, just to satisfy a quiet internal urge. When an activity shifts from being a choice to feeling like a compulsion, it can quietly chip away at our sense of self-mastery. This can lead to insidious feelings of guilt, shame, or even quiet regret afterward. You might ask yourself, why am I doing this again? Or, is this truly how I want to be spending my energy and time? These feelings, even if unspoken or unacknowledged, can accumulate over time, creating a low-grade undercurrent of dissatisfaction. This isn't about external judgment. It's about an internal disconnect between your higher intentions for your life and the subtle feeling of being driven by a habit. When we feel out of control, even in a private sphere, it can diminish our overall sense of dignity and inner peace, making it harder to feel truly content and confident in our own skin. We all deserve to feel truly at peace with our choices. Impact on real intimacy. This brings us to a profound point about connection, particularly as we age. For many of us, our lives are enriched by genuine, meaningful relationships with a spouse, a partner, family, or close friends. True intimacy in later life is far more than just physical. It's about shared vulnerability, deep emotional connection, mutual understanding, and shared moments of joy and comfort. An over-reliance on solitary sexual activity, though it provides a momentary release, can inadvertently diminish our drive or desire for this richer, more complex, and ultimately more rewarding form of partnered intimacy. When the immediate physical urge is consistently satisfied in isolation, it can subtly reduce the impetus to seek out the emotional labor, communication, and vulnerability required for truly fulfilling shared intimacy. It's not a conscious decision, but a subtle shifting of priorities. This can create a quiet distance, a subtle emotional gap, even within existing relationships. True connection thrives on presence, on mutual giving and receiving, and on the emotional energy we invest in one another. When our energy is consistently channeled inward, or when a momentary, solitary gratification becomes the primary focus, it can leave less emotional or energetic bandwidth for fostering the deeper, more profound bonds that bring true, lasting happiness and contentment in our later years. It's about ensuring our habits serve to enhance our connections, rather than subtly detracting from them. The search for true fulfillment. Ultimately, gentlemen, we are all searching for fulfillment, that deep sense of purpose, satisfaction, and meaning in our lives. As we navigate our senior years, this search often becomes even more pronounced. We reflect on our lives and we seek ways to live out our remaining chapters with authenticity and joy. This leads us to a critical question. Is frequent masturbation truly addressing your deeper needs for connection, purpose, spiritual growth, or genuine emotional regulation? Or is it perhaps serving as a momentary escape, a temporary distraction from underlying feelings of boredom, loneliness, stress, or even unaddressed emotional wounds? While it provides a fleeting sensation, it often doesn't resolve the root cause of these deeper needs. True fulfillment is typically found in meaningful engagement with the world around us. It comes from cultivating strong relationships, pursuing passionate hobbies, learning new things, contributing to our communities, and connecting with a sense of purpose larger than ourselves. When we consciously reevaluate our habits and potentially redirect our energy, we open up space. This newfound energy and mental clarity can then be channeled into these more enduring sources of satisfaction. It's about asking ourselves what truly nourishes our soul and contributes to a sustained sense of well-being, rather than just momentary gratification. It's about recognizing that our most profound satisfactions often come from connection, creation, and contribution, not solely from private consumption. the opportunity for empowerment and redirection. Gentlemen, we've spent time understanding some of the potential costs associated with this habit as we age. The subtle drains on our physical vitality, our hormonal balance, our mental clarity, and even our emotional peace. But I want to be absolutely clear. This entire discussion isn't about dwelling on problems. It's about recognizing them as opportunities. It's about understanding so we can step into a place of profound empowerment. This is where we shift from merely identifying challenges to actively embracing solutions and consciously redirecting our precious energy towards a more vibrant, fulfilling life. If you've been nodding along with me, if you've recognized even a sliver of your own experience in what we've discussed so far, then you're exactly where you need to be. It takes courage to look inward, to consider new perspectives, especially on such personal topics. So tell me, are you still with me on this journey? I'd love to know. Comment 1 and below right now if you are, and let's continue this vital conversation towards a more vibrant, energetic you. Reclaiming your energy. Practical steps. So what does this redirection look like in practice? It begins with making conscious choices that directly support your body's natural capacity for healing and vitality. We're talking about tangible steps that anyone can take, starting today. First, let's talk about nutrient repletion. Remember how we discussed the valuable minerals and vitamins expended during ejaculation? It's time to consciously replenish and fortify your internal reserves. Prioritize a diet rich in zinc, found abundantly in oysters, pumpkin seeds, and certain lean meats. Selenium, crucial for prostate health and overall vitality, is high in Brazil nuts. Just a few a day can make a difference. And fish. Focus on healthy fats from avocados, olive oil, and fatty fish for hormonal support. Don't forget the power of dark leafy greens for a spectrum of B vitamins and other micronutrients. Consider adding a high-quality multivitamin tailored for men over 65. But always remember that whole foods are paramount. If you have specific dietary concerns or deficiencies, consulting with a doctor or a registered nutritionist can provide tailored guidance. Think of your plate as your pharmacy. Every meal is an opportunity to build yourself up. Next is mindful movement. This isn't about running marathons unless you enjoy them. It's about engaging in gentle, consistent exercise that builds energy rather than depleting it. Regular walking, perhaps 30 minutes most days of the week, can significantly improve circulation, mood, and overall vitality. Tai Chi is magnificent for balance, flexibility, and cultivating internal energy. Gentle yoga or stretching routines can enhance mobility and reduce stiffness. The key is consistency and finding activities you genuinely enjoy, making movement a source of pleasure and revitalization, not a chore. And then, there's the often underestimated power of quality sleep. As we age, sleep patterns can shift, but its importance for hormonal balance, cognitive function, and cellular repair remains paramount. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of consistent, restorative sleep each night. Create a relaxing bedtime routine. Ensure your bedroom is dark and cool, and try to go to bed and wake up at similar times each day, even on weekends. When you sleep deeply, your body has the prime opportunity to repair, reset hormones, and replenish neurotransmitters, making you feel truly refreshed. Finally, a simple yet profoundly crucial step: hydration. Our bodies are mostly water, and adequate hydration supports every single bodily function, from nutrient transport to waste elimination, and plays a role in maintaining energy levels. Make plain water your primary beverage. Keep a glass or bottle handy throughout the day and sip regularly. These practical steps taken together create a powerful foundation for reclaiming your inherent energy. Cultivating deeper connections. Human beings are wired for connection. As we age, the quality of our relationships becomes an even greater predictor of our happiness and longevity. Redirecting energy away from solitary habits can open up a vast wellspring of opportunity for more meaningful connections. First, prioritize real relationships. Spend quality time with your spouse or partner. Engage deeply with your children and grandchildren. Rekindle friendships or nurture existing ones. This means putting down the phone, stepping away from the screen, and being truly present. Share stories, listen actively, and simply enjoy each other's company. These interactions, filled with laughter, shared experiences, and genuine conversation, nourish the soul in ways solitary acts simply cannot. Consider community engagement. Volunteering your time and skills to a cause you believe in can be incredibly fulfilling. Joining clubs or groups centered around shared hobbies, whether it's gardening, history, chess, or a walking group, provides opportunities for new friendships and a sense of belonging. Contributing to something larger than yourself creates purpose and enriches your spirit. And let's not forget the power of non-sexual intimacy. This is especially important in a long-term partnership. The warmth of a hug, the comfort of holding hands, the shared laughter over a memory, deep conversations where you truly feel seen and heard, these are the fabric of profound intimacy. They cultivate emotional bonding, trust, and a sense of being truly connected. When we channel our energy into these forms of connection, it fosters a sense of belonging and profound satisfaction that lasts far beyond any fleeting physical release. Finding new purpose and passions. One of the most potent ways to redirect your energy is by investing it in pursuits that ignite your spirit and provide a deep sense of purpose. For many older men, this is a time of rediscovery. Rediscover hobbies you once loved, but set aside due to career or family demands. Did you once enjoy woodworking, painting, playing an instrument, or photography? Now is the time to pick it up again. The joy and mental stimulation derived from these creative outlets can be incredibly invigorating. Consider learning something new. Our brains thrive on novelty and challenge. Take a class at a local community college or senior center, perhaps a new language, a historical subject, or even a computer skill. Engage in brain training activities like puzzles, reading challenging books, or learning a new game. Mental stimulation is vital for cognitive health and keeps your mind sharp and engaged. Finally, think about how you can serve others. The profound satisfaction of contributing to someone else's well-being or to a larger cause is unmatched. This could be mentoring a younger person, helping a neighbor, or volunteering for a charity. When you pour your energy into acts of generosity and service, it creates a powerful ripple effect, not only in the lives of others, but profoundly within your own sense of self-worth and fulfillment. Channeling your inherent life force into meaningful pursuits is perhaps the most enriching form of redirection, filling your life with sustained joy and purpose beyond fleeting moments of solitary pleasure. The power of self-control and discipline. Finally, gentlemen, let's talk about self-control and discipline. In our modern world, these words can sometimes be viewed negatively, as if they imply deprivation or rigid rules. But I want you to reframe this completely. True self-control, particularly as it relates to managing our inherent energies, is not about denial. It is a profound act of self-love and self-mastery. It's about consciously choosing to align your actions with your highest intentions for your health, your well-being, and your purpose in this stage of life. It's about saying, I choose vitality. I choose sustained energy. I choose clarity of mind. I choose deeper, more authentic connections. I choose a richer, more meaningful experience of life. This isn't about being perfect. It's about making deliberate, conscious choices that serve your long-term benefit. The mental fortitude gained from consciously making choices that serve your long-term well-being is itself a powerful form of personal growth. When you practice this form of self-discipline, you are strengthening your mental muscle. You are proving to yourself that you are the master of your habits, not the other way around. This internal strength spills over into every other area of your life, giving you greater confidence and a more profound sense of agency. Understand that this is a journey, not a destination. There will be days when it feels easier and days when it feels harder. Be patient and compassionate with yourself. Every conscious choice, every small step towards redirection is a victory. It's about cultivating a deep respect for your own internal resources and choosing to invest them wisely for a truly vibrant and fulfilling life. Addressing counterarguments and nuance. Gentlemen, as we near the end of our conversation, it's vital to acknowledge that a topic as personal and pervasive as this often comes with ingrained beliefs and common assumptions. You might be thinking about things you've heard or experiences you've had that seem to contradict what I've shared. That's perfectly natural and even healthy. My aim here isn't to dismiss your experiences, but to provide a more nuanced, comprehensive understanding, especially as it pertains to our unique stage of life. It's healthy normal, a distinction. One of the most common beliefs is simply, it's a healthy and normal activity. And you know what? For the vast majority of human history, and certainly in youth, it is a natural human behavior. I'm not here to deny that. However, there's a crucial distinction we need to make as older men. The difference between what is normal or common and what is truly optimal for your specific well-being, for your body's unique needs at this stage of life. What might have been entirely inconsequential or even beneficial for a young man with a robust metabolism, peak hormone levels, and rapid recovery capabilities simply isn't the same for a man over 65. Our bodies change, our recovery times lengthen, our hormonal systems become more delicate. So while the act itself is common, its frequency and impact in the context of an aging body and its shifting priorities are what we're scrutinizing. We're not discussing morality. We're discussing biological efficiency and vitality. It's about optimizing your resources, not merely engaging in what's normal for a different age bracket. Stress relief, sustainable alternatives. Another common argument is that it serves as a form of stress relief. And yes, in the immediate moment, the release of tension and the surge of pleasure chemicals can provide a temporary escape from stress. It's a quick fix, a momentary distraction. But let's ask ourselves, does it truly resolve the underlying stress? Or does it merely provide a fleeting symptom reliever that might, in the long run, contribute to deeper energy drains or feelings of emotional disconnect we've discussed? As older men, learning to manage stress in more holistic, sustainable ways becomes increasingly important. Instead of reaching for a temporary physiological release, consider incorporating practices that address the root causes of stress and provide lasting calm. Things like meditation or simple deep breathing exercises can profoundly calm the nervous system. Spending time in nature has immense stress-reducing benefits. Engaging in fulfilling hobbies or creative pursuits can provide a healthy mental escape and a sense of accomplishment. And perhaps most powerfully, nurturing social connections and open communication with loved ones can be an unparalleled source of emotional relief and support. These alternatives don't just mask stress, they build resilience and provide genuine, sustained peace. Prostate health, the nuance of research. For many years, there's been a popular notion, often circulated informally, that frequent ejaculation is crucial for prostate health, specifically to prevent issues like prostate cancer. This is a point of understandable concern for us as older men, given the prevalence of prostate conditions. However, let's look at the science with a balanced view. While some studies have explored a potential link between ejaculation frequency and prostate health, the evidence is mixed and not conclusive enough to make it a primary health recommendation. Some research suggests a possible correlation between higher ejaculation frequency and a slightly reduced risk of certain types of prostate cancer in some populations. But the mechanisms aren't fully understood, and other studies show no significant link or even conflicting results. It's certainly not a universally accepted preventative measure endorsed by major medical organizations as a standalone strategy. What is universally accepted and far more impactful for prostate health are broader lifestyle choices. A balanced, anti-inflammatory diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats. Regular moderate exercise. Maintaining a healthy weight. And critically consistent medical checkups and discussions with your doctor about prostate screenings. Relying on frequent ejaculation as your primary prostate health strategy is a simplistic view that overlooks the far more significant and proven factors. Our focus should be on comprehensive well-being, not just one isolated habit based on inconclusive data. What about my partner? Enhancing shared intimacy. Finally, a valid concern might arise for men in committed relationships. What about my partner? Won't reducing solitary activity impact our shared intimacy? This is a critical point, and my answer is emphatically no. It can actually enhance it. Our discussion about conserving energy and redirecting focus isn't about extinguishing desire or intimacy. Quite the opposite. When you feel more vibrant, more energetic, clearer in your mind, and more authentically connected to your own sense of purpose, that naturally spills over into all your relationships, including with your partner. True intimacy, especially as we age, thrives on connection, presence, and emotional depth. When you're not depleting your vital resources through frequent solitary acts, you may find that your genuine desire for shared intimacy is stronger, less driven by compulsion, and more rooted in a profound desire for connection. The energy you conserve can be channeled into being more present, more attentive, and more emotionally engaged with your partner. This can lead to a richer, more meaningful sexual experience when it does occur, focused on mutual pleasure and profound connection, rather than just a quick release. It's about elevating your overall vitality, which inherently makes you a more vibrant and engaged partner in every sense of the word. My friends, as we draw to a close, I want to bring this conversation back to its true essence. This entire discussion, while delving into a deeply personal topic, isn't about restriction. It's about liberation. It's about empowering you to take back control of your precious energy, your mental focus, and your ultimate well-being in these invaluable golden years. We've explored how a habit, often seen as harmless, can subtly but significantly impact your body's vital resources, your hormonal balance, your mental clarity, and even your capacity for deeper emotional connection as an older man. But with this understanding comes immense power. With awareness comes choice, and with choice comes the profound ability to transform your experience of aging. Imagine waking up each day with a more sustained, vibrant energy. Imagine feeling clearer in your thoughts, with a sharper mind and greater focus. Picture yourself more deeply engaged in your relationships, experiencing richer connections and more meaningful intimacy. Envision yourself pursuing your passions with renewed vigor, finding purpose in every moment, and feeling truly present in the world around you. This isn't a pipe dream, gentlemen. It's an entirely achievable reality when you begin to make conscious choices that honor your body, nourish your mind, and uplift your spirit. Your journey, of course, is unique. There's no one-size-fits-all answer and no universal mandate. But I genuinely encourage you to simply consider what we've shared today. Take this information, reflect on it in the quiet of your own mind, and perhaps begin to observe your own body, your own mind, and your own energy levels with a new lens. Notice the subtle shifts. Pay attention to how you feel after making conscious choices. This isn't about making drastic, overnight changes that feel overwhelming. This is about taking the first step. Begin by making small, manageable changes. Even a slight shift in perspective, a conscious pause before acting, or a gentle redirection of your energy can open doors to incredible improvements in your vitality and overall happiness. Remember, consistent small steps lead to profound, lasting transformation. So, gentlemen, if this message has resonated with you, if it sparked even a flicker of recognition or ignited a desire for positive change within you, then please do me a favor. First, consider sharing this video with another man in your life, a friend, a brother, a peer, who might truly benefit from hearing this honest, open conversation about well-being in our later years. Secondly, giving this video a thumbs up helps YouTube's algorithms understand its value and pushes it out to more men who need to hear this empowering message. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. We're dedicated to bringing you more discussions, more insights, and more practical advice on how to truly live your best, most vibrant life in these golden years. But most importantly, I want to hear from you. Your wisdom, your experiences, your questions. They are all invaluable. What are your thoughts on what we've discussed today? What small change are you considering? Leave a comment below and let's continue this vital conversation, building a community of empowered, thriving older men. Remember, gentlemen, you possess the inherent power to live these years not just comfortably, not just passively, but with profound vibrancy, purpose, and joy. Choose vitality, choose purpose, choose you.